Game on.
Hey there, game gurus. Welcome back to the channel. Today I'm going to be taking a look at something I received from the Buy Stuff store. It's their Yoke and Wheel gaming box. Let's have a look at this little guy. Okay, let me start off by saying that I did receive this for the purposes of review, but the opinions and outcome of the video is my own, and there's no way a paid advertisement for the Buy Stuff store. But they do make some really good stuff, so I'm not going to lie there. So this looks like an Android box that they have kind of customized for the GRS Yoke and driving controllers, like airplane games, jet fighter games, flight simulators, and driving games, and things of that nature. Maybe even some shoot 'em ups, but we'll have to see. So they have their own decal here on this smart TV box. It says it's an 8K Ultra HD unit here, and it looks nice. And again, what's different about this is they apparently preset everything up for the GRS Yoke and steering wheel with the games that are actually pre-included with this box. So let's take a look. I'm going to open this little guy right up here. Let the air and gravity pull this box open. There we go. So we have the nice Yoke and Wheel gaming box. Put this top over here, and then we have a little thing here from the Buy Stuff store. It's the Gamer Pro Android box from the Buy Stuff store. It's an Android box taped with a power AC plug and remote, a short switch for mounting, tape applied, and a 3-foot HDMI cable, and it was quality checked. Now, with that being said, this device really initially was set up for the AtGames Legends Ultimate line of products. My GRS Yoke, they have a really nice mount for the Legends Ultimate, and they also now make a regular desk mount. And in this video, I'm going to be showing that pretty much. Again, the way this is set up, even though they're pushing it for the AtGames Legends series, it just really requires a TV with HDMI in. It doesn't really do anything or need anything special that the Legends Ultimate would have. So I'm just going to show it really on the TV set. But again, on the Legends Ultimate, you do have a TV HDMI input, and that's what you could do. We'll put this aside here. So we have our little manual here for the X96, what does it say? Air. So that's obviously the device that they're working with here. And here is our Android box. And it got a nice, really nice decal on there. It looks pretty nice. It's a pretty small box. And we can see in the front here, this is for an infrared sensor. I'm guessing nothing on this side. On the back, we do have our power input. We have an optical input right here. And if you open up this, I know there's a little reset button in there. So if you ever have to reset the box back to default, that'll be inside there. Our HDMI out, physical Ethernet port, AV out for like composite audio and visual. We have a USB 2.0 port. On the last side, we have another USB 2.0 port, so we have two of those. Also a USB 3.0 port. And an SD card slot. And they've already pre-installed, let me get this out here, a bunch of games. This looks like a 64 gigabyte SD card. I'm not sure how big, if that'll always be on all the machines. That's what I have here, a PNY. And all the games and emulators are pre-configured for this device. And of course, I'm putting it upside down. Always do that. There we go. So that's the first thing we have on top. So we'll put that aside just for a moment. Lift out this lid here. And we have another sub box in here. Let's see what we have inside here. Okay, one thing we have is a on-off switch with some double-sided tape, which they stated, and the power plug here. So this will go between the power supply and this will go to the box. So you have a physical on-off switch for the device. We'll put that down aside for a second. We now have a actual power pack. Here's our power pack for it. And it looks like it is 5 volts with 2 amps. So we'll put that aside as well. We have an included HDMI cable, which is kind of nice to include that, including the power and the HDMI cable. And the last thing they're including is actually a remote, which I assume comes with the Android box itself. I don't think it's really anything we need in this manual per se. It's really just showing you how to connect it to the TV set, and I'm pretty much going to know how to do that. So put that stuff aside. So just give me 1 minute, and we're not going to do this remote, I don't believe either. I'm going to put that aside and take the rest of this box aside as well. and we will hook this up to the TV, and we'll do some, I guess, gameplay and show you, I guess, how this device works. Okay, so we'll get this thing hooked up. It shouldn't be too difficult. We'll get some gameplay of the GRS Yoke and Wheel gaming box from the Buy Stuff store. Hookup seems to be fairly simple. Now, you probably don't need this if you didn't want to, but we're going to use it anyway. Just an easy way to turn the device on and off. And we'll connect that over here. Now, I'm not going to need this HDMI cable right now. I have an HDMI cable already on my TV set. So we'll plug that in, like so. Now, the last thing we're going to need is a steering wheel or a GRS yoke. So we're going to get that now. So the next thing we need to do is install a steering wheel or a GRS Star Wars yoke. I just so happen to have a Star Wars yoke right here. And you can see I have it mounted on the Buy Stuff store mount, which is really nice, and it kind of locks in place with these two little tabs. There we go. And the only thing we need to do now is just plug in the USB port right here, which I'm going to do right now. I'm going to actually go underneath. And we can plug it into one of the ports. And I'm going to plug it in, actually, I'm really underneath. I'm going to plug it in over here. Next, you know what? I'm going to plug it into the back. Why not? Keep it looking a little bit nicer, right? And then we just hit the power switch. Make sure the volume is turned up here as well. We have some volume on our TV set. All right, let's hit our power switch and see what we get. Very nice intro. What I'm going to do is I'm going to turn this a little bit so you can still see the TV flat on. So we have, again, the yoke here, and by moving our controller up or down, we can navigate our menus here. Let's take a look at racing real quick. So I'll pull the trigger here. It takes into that menu. And we have a whole bunch of driving games available here that are, again, pre-set up for the Star Wars yoke from GRS. Just trying to find a nice game here to play. Hey! again, the original concept behind the flight yoke and gaming wheel box from the Buy Stuff store was to add GRS flight yoke and steering wheel capabilities from an external device easily to your Legends Ultimate and their other line of products. But again, as I already showed you previously, it's really just using the HDMI in for a monitor and sound, so it can be used on a regular TV set, which I just showed you a moment ago. But if you did want to put it on your Legends Ultimate products, again, it's very easy to do. Here we see my Legends Ultimate version 1.0 with the Joe Sabo Tron artwork on here. And I simply attached my GRS flight yoke to the front of the gaming controller on the Legends Ultimate using the Buy Stuff Store's mount, which of course they make two different versions. This version here is designed for the Legends Ultimate, designed to clamp on very easily, and it's a beautiful piece of work that they've done. And the one you saw in the video earlier was for a regular desk. There are two different models. This one is designed specifically to fit the contours of that front control panel. Now, the Buy Stuff Store gaming box is designed to go inside the machine on the back of it. They included double-sided tape to hold everything in place, and they included a external on-off switch, which is very nice. And again, everything has double-sided tape on it, very easy to do. But I'm going to be moving mine from device to device, so I didn't permanently mount it here. But if you did want to, the only thing external that you would see would be a power switch you can hide very easily under the control panel, like maybe somewhere under here on the front here. You can hide that switch very easily and turn it on. And of course, you can use the HDMI selector to pick whether you want the internal games or the AtGames Legends Ultimate or the flight yoke and gaming wheel box from the Buy Stuff store. So here's the device, and I guess it's not a bad looking unit at all, but you could put this behind where the monitor is or underneath somewhere. You can hide it out of the way. The only thing you need to do is obviously hit the power switch, turn it on and off. But again, I'm not going to permanently attach this, but there is double-sided tape on all these parts that they included. So the first thing you do is just connect your GRS flight yoke to one of the three USB ports on the device. It really doesn't matter which one you connect it to, it'll sense it and know it's there. The next thing is your HDMI out from the gaming box. Here's my HDMI cable right here, and it plugs into the HDMI in on the Legends Ultimate. And the last part you do is just connect the power cable, and that's it. So let's take a look at some gameplay on the Legends Ultimate with the flight yoke and gaming wheel from the Buy Stuff store. Buy Stuff store's yoke and steering wheel gaming box. I will say, if you have a GRS Star Wars yoke or a driver controller already, and you want to hook it up to your AtGames Legends Ultimate, or really just a TV set, again, that's all it's using it here for is HDMI input. But if you do have one already, I think it's a nice little addition. It's a pretty powerful little box here. It's got a lot of games installed already and pre-configured for a steering controller or a driving yoke. I will say that some of the games I found, the controls still weren't perfect. You may have to go in and make some adjustments yourself. One of the things that the yoke can do is it's analog also with the forward and back on the yoke itself. I like to change my driving to when I'm pressing forward for acceleration and pulling back versus brake versus pressing buttons. But those are things you can do or not do. Again, for the price you get this year, I'll put a link down below to the Buy Stuff store for this. It's pretty good for this box here with these games pre-installed and already pre-configured for the Star Wars yoke. I look forward to see future enhancements for this. They're always making little adjustments and patches to the controller eye on these little guys here. But I think right now it's pretty decent. So again, that's it for today's episode. I hope you did like it. If you did, please like, share, subscribe. Do take a look over at the Buy Stuff store. They have this product here, but they have a lot of items on their store that they make for the AtGames Legends Ultimate, but also other things as well, including Arcade 1-Up. So give them a look. I do want to thank you all for watching, and remember to tell your family and friends, as always, that you love them. Remember, no matter how you play your games, just a game on.
Tiny Arcade fan page. Remember, don't admire people too much. They'll disappoint you.
Sit, Blue Blue, sit. Good dog.